Hi guys, this is Mr. Sasson and I'm here today to do Toriko chapter 343 review. This chapter from my point of view is really bad. Really bad, and I will state the bad things first. So the first thing is that we finally get a flashback of what happened in Area 6, and even that flashback is rushed. It's on the same speed the real action is going at. So we're not going to stop and see what happened in Area 6 fully. Even though we get a flashback, we're not going to see everything. And I don't understand what's the point of the flashback if we're not going to see everything that happened in Area 6. It's just going to be like a teaser, and that's very bad. Second thing is that Don Slime is going to resurrect Ichiryu, or at least he's going to try to resurrect Ichiryu, and that's also bad because the thing is, why are you trying to resurrect Ichiryu? Toriko is the main character of this manga, so Toriko is supposed to beat the big bad, whoever that is. Currently, that is Acacia and Neo. Toriko is supposed to defeat it because he's the main character. So why bring Ichiryu back then? Maybe to give Toriko some lessons, but it's very convenient that Don Slime knows a method to bring Ichiryu back, to give Toriko some more lessons, because we knew that Ichiryu trained Toriko before, but he couldn't train him everything because he was not at that level. Well, now Toriko is at that level, and if Ichiryu comes back to life and hands him some secret technique or something, then it's going to be very convenient. So don't bring Ichiryu back. I mean, he's obviously going to do it, but that's shit. It makes everything invalid, everything that all the IGO and all of Ichiryu's friends, including Midora, every last bit of their feelings, it makes them null, because they don't matter, because he's coming back to life. So everything that happened 3 arcs ago, it doesn't matter. And the third thing is that there are a lot of inconsistencies in the chapter, and I will point that out at the end of this video. And now for the review. We see Don Slime jumping off of the back of the shell that is just coming out of the water. So the clam that has the blue grill inside it is coming out of the water, and Don Slime just jumps off of the back of the shell. He lands on the water, he then uses the surface of the water to jump again, and he goes all the way out into space where he lands on a meteor. I would assume it's a meteor because it's of small size. Then he uses the meteor to bounce back to that planet, and in the process he locates Acacia and Neo, and they go bump head to head right off the bat. So I don't know what to say about that. If he wants to resurrect Ichiryu, then why doesn't he do it? He just goes straight into the fight. And that doesn't make any sense, because if he gets himself killed or eaten or imprisoned, then he won't be able to resurrect Ichiryu. So I don't know why he did that. Maybe he will bail out of there. Maybe it is to test Neo's powers and his current resurrection. Hell if I know. But it's very baffling. Now, another thing that I find peculiar is that Guinness, the battle wolf, has left Area 2. I think it's, yeah, Area 2. So Toriko is just fighting Guinness, and he just bailed out of there along with all other battle wolves. There's no sight of any battle wolf there. So maybe they're going to assist Don Slime. Maybe they felt this battle going on and they're going to help. I have no idea, but they just bailed fast. Then Komatsu tells Toriko in very little words and very obscure words that decades have passed since they met. And that is an inconsistency, because then we jump into flashback 3 weeks ago. So from our point of view, from Toriko's point of view, 3 weeks have passed since they split up. But apparently, from Komatsu's point of view, it has been decades. And then the author says that after only 1 hour have passed from the time Toriko and the others parted ways in Area 6, inside the giant shell over 2 days have already passed. So 1 hour equals 2 days. And in Toriko's perspective, 3 weeks have passed. So 3 weeks is 21 days, and 21 days multiplied by 24 hours a day is 504 hours. And 504 hours multiplied by 2 days, which is an hour in the shell, that's roughly 1008 days in the shell. So 3 weeks in Toriko time 1008 days in the shell. And that is somewhere around 3 years, less than 3 years. So decades, the math doesn't make sense. I'm just saying. Then there's another part about how safe camping monsters emit an area that basically hinders interest in other predators. Like the way it works, and they explain it pretty well, is when a lion is looking at an apple. A lion hasn't got any interest to eat that apple because he's a carnivore. He is not an herbivore. So he has no interest in that apple. He doesn't even notice it, except if the apple somehow falls on his head. But if an apple is on the ground and a lion passes by the apple, he will not observe that apple because it means no interest to him. And that's how the camping monsters work. They emit some sort of aura, let's say aura, that makes the other predators not be interested in them. And I have some issues with that too, because in the gourmet world there are always predators who eat everything, and including humans and Nito. Like the Nito have found ways to cook ingredients which at first glance they don't mean anything. So why won't they find a way to cook the monsters, the camping monsters? It makes no sense. But anyway, I can let that slide through. It's a very good explanation about how the camping monster work, and let's move forward. We finally get to see a panel of Whale King Moon, and I was right, the black hole is in his stomach, except it's not a black hole. According to Don Slime, it's a white hole, which I don't know the difference, whatever. But apparently he has started to eat a large quantity of food, of fish. And apparently because of this restlessness, this movement of Whale King Moon, the bridge between the other world and this world has begin to crumble, or not crumble but destabilize, and food spirits are actually coming into the blue grill, and we see the food spirits, the food trolls, in all shapes and forms, and they look terrifying. So Don's line actually has to stop the gourmet contest between Asarudi and the chefs from the human world, and he has to stop the contest, basically move against these demons, these gourmet trolls that are coming out, all because Moon is upset. And right when they move out, that's when we find out that they are going to revive Ichiryu, or at least they have a plan in reviving Ichiryu, which again, as I explained in the beginning, it makes no sense, because once you kill the character, it should stay dead. It basically makes the sense of danger disappear, because everyone could be overcome with this with gourmet ingredients, specific gourmet ingredients. Also, Ichiryu, from what I see, doesn't have a part to play in the story anymore. And if he does have a part to play in the story, then it's very convenient, because if Ichiryu knows some sort of secret to defeat Neo, then the motherfucker should not have gotten himself killed. He should have stayed back home with his troops, because he knew the revival of Neo was approaching. So if he knew some way to defeat him, he should have told others about it, not go and get himself killed, because that would put the whole planet in danger. You see what I'm getting at? If he knew some way to defeat Neo, then he should have told others, or he should have kept himself safe, not go get himself killed. That puts the entire planet and the entire human race in danger. And now, because they can revive him, that's very convenient for the story. So that's it. I'm out. That's my opinion about the chapter, is that it is a bad chapter, but we'll see. So rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a nice day.
Any rational society would either kill me or put me to some use.